let me hear you say, oh! Let's go!
If you look at the journey as a whole, you've pretty much done this since Christmas.
Oh yeah. I mean, this has been. I think that's the credit to Tom and to the players that. You know, most people look at it when you bring in new players, especially when you bring in as many new players as we did, and they say, there's no way that you're going to make the playoffs. I mean, and I was told that straight out by people I respect, some good people. And they weren't trying to be critical. They were just saying, look, you can't bring in that many players.
You expect them to gel in that short space
Well,
of
you
time.
can't do it. And you're bottom of the league, so don't expect to make the playoffs. You know, if you can get up at the loss to a respectable level, then great. And I said, I don't think you understand. I said, Tom Watkins is a great coach.
Yes.
We've got a great base of players who love each other. They're a team. And, adding the right players was critical. I think if you randomly go out and just pick up any player you can find, then yeah, sure, that's going to be an issue. But we didn't. We went out and found the exact players that fitted with the team and the way Tom runs things. And, it's credit to Paul and Tom that they were able to pull those players in. And here we are, like you say, from Christmas, where we made the playoffs.
Now, an interesting point there. Tom Watkins has now been signed on a long-term deal. You've done the same with some of the new guys that you've brought in. You've got you're looking forward, and that's brand new for British ice hockey. That's never been done by British clubs in the history of hockey.
I think, look, this is just a more of a personal, ethical thing. I think if you respect a player enough that you want to bring them in and make them a part of your team, I think you've got to look at the senior squad and say, well, look, I mean, obviously, look, if you're a 17, 18, 19-year-old lad, you got to earn your stripes.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that's how life works. You earn your stripes. When you've been playing for a good long time and you really are at that level where everyone knows your level of commitment, then I don't think it's unreasonable to give multi-year contracts to players to give them a bit of security. I want them to know that they've got a home here, that this is where they can stay. I don't want it to be that people feel insecure. I don't think you ever get anything good out of an insecure player.
No.
And I think the fact that we have kept all the players that we started with when we bought the team says a lot about how we like to run things here. We want to build everybody. We want this to be a long-term plan, and so that's why we don't mind doing some longer contracts. And, one of the things that I thought was critical right from the start was to really put in the right infrastructure to support the team, because the reality of it is, look, Tom's got a hard job, Paul's got a hard job, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes with the volunteers, whether it's the Andy Phillips of the world or, literally there's a long list.
Everybody on the match night.
Everyone on the match night. I mean, it's a huge group of people, and it's hard. And I think what we've tried to do is put an infrastructure in place that says, here are all these people that can now support you on a full-time basis. So take a little bit of weight off your shoulders so that you don't have this constant stress. And I think that's, you can put those kind of things in place, but ultimately it is a sport. And it isn't quite the same. I mean, trust me, my board meetings aren't quite like this. They're not as enthusiastic for the other businesses. The board meetings for this one are much more fun.
Yeah.
But I think that's a big part of it. You're right, it is different.
And it's interesting because you mentioned volunteers, and there are countless volunteers on match nights that are putting in 10 penn'orths that you'd never get to work that hard for free in another commercial business.
No way. I mean, I think, but that goes back to, I think, if you look at the fans that we have, the passion for ice hockey and the passion for Telford in particular, you just don't get that. And look, I'll tell you one thing I do like. I mean, I always spend some time talking to the away fans, whoever they are. And I've just met a really cool couple, actually, from Guildford that I really, really liked. One of them's a Liverpool fan, so that made it easy for a start,
You get on.
Yeah, it was great. But we ended up talking with a group of about 7 or 8 of the Guildford fans, and they all commented how well organised some of the things are that happen here. And, they were like, oh, everyone's so friendly, all of your staff, all of the workers are so nice. And I think that really is what Telford has got a great reputation for, is having this really friendly team of volunteers that just chip in and make it happen. And look, I mean, I think the superwoman of all of it is Rita McCreel. I mean, she makes me laugh because I said to her the other day, honestly, the world would stop turning. Like, without her, I don't know what we do. But it is those volunteers that make it what it is. The passion changes the flavour. It could be a very bland sport without the passion of the fans.
Now, let's look forward, because you mentioned some of the durations of longer term contracts.
Yep.
So you've already had the vision through.
Yep.
After the playoff weekend, I imagine it doesn't stop.
No, it gets actually worse. I think, for us now, we've already spent the last 3 weeks talking about what 2015 looks like for us. Yeah. The reality of sport is that it never stops. I mean, okay, so the season finishes and, the players go and do their thing for the summer. But look, we've got 4 players on full-time contracts. Mm-hmm. They're staying here. They're not going anywhere. They're staying here to develop the academy. They're staying here to develop the team. They're staying here to help build the club. And we did that on purpose because we really want the club to start. I guess what it is
generating more talent.
Well, yeah, what it is. I guess part of it is I don't want it to be that it feels part time, that everyone shows up at 2 weeks before the start of the season and goes, all right, we're here. Let's be part of the team. Yeah. I want it to be that we have this relationship that goes on 12 months of the year, because I want the players to feel prepared and ready. I want them to have every opportunity to make 2015 an absolute smasher of a year. And look, it's been great this year. But honestly, as I said in the programme, we've just started. This has just begun. This has just begun.
Lovely. Wayne Scholes, thank you.
Thank you.